we are sending the recordings to you.
Yeah, recordings is fine.
Whether it's going to send or you have to see the slides also. Because anyhow, we are sending the recordings to you.
Yeah. So Ahmad, will you also share the PPTs which you have?
Yes, sir. We'll tell to the management, but I think you have to go online. You have to check that one. But check, I will check what is that, what my manager will say, whether it's going to send or you have to see the slides also. Because anyhow, we are sending the recordings to you.
Yeah, recordings is fine, but if I have the PPT also,
I will check it out this one. I will ask to the management.
and
Okay.
the material will be sending right tomorrow. Once
Huh, sir, recording will send you. Already, I think it's sent it to your email IDs,
no,
which
I
you
haven't
registered. Not
yet.
received. I will check. So do one thing. After the class, give your email IDs, all of you. So
Okay,
I will tell to my management to send to you this one.
so what
Already, I
about
received that first
the
day
material?
recording.
There won't be any material for the recording.
Okay. So hi everyone. So please mute your mics. So we'll start the session. So clearly you can listen to me. So the last class we started the session MCSE, that is 2016 we seen, and 2016 course name is MCSA, that is stands Microsoft Certified Solution Expert. And after completing this course, I say that we are going to become system administrator, right? And we are going to manage the Microsoft servers, clients. We are going to manage the entire network. The last class we discussed what is network, what is networking, types of network, and we discussed we are going to manage the LAN network. To manage LAN network, we have some requirement, like we require systems, we require media, we require network devices in every machine, we require NEC cards, we require hub and switch to connect more than two PCs, we require router. And the last class we discussed operating system also. We seen Microsoft has given two operating systems. One is client OS and one is a server OS. And the first server OS Microsoft is what? NT. Then Microsoft is given 2000, then 2003, 2008, and 2012. And the last one is what? 2016 operating system. In 2016 we have flavors. Like last class we discussed editions, like data center standard. We have multi-point. We have Hyper-V. We have share work group share and share storage. We can say storage server. We have operating system in work group, and in standard we have, right? And in data center and standard we have full features, unlimited users we can create, right? Full features we have, but the difference is what? Only virtual machines. In standard we can create two virtual machines, but in data center we can create unlimited virtual machine. And the last class we seen the practical how to install the operating system also, right? Now, the last class we discussed 5 requirements are there, like we require systems, media, we require network devices, operating system, but the last one is IP address. So today we'll start with the topic of IP address, because IP address is very, very important, right? Whenever you're learning any course, we have to start from IP address. If you have a, right, if you have with IP address good knowledge, then you can go for when you're learning MCSE or when you're learning any Microsoft course or Cisco, any course, we require IP. So right now we are saying we are working on domain model, sorry, we are working on network, but what network contained here actually? What network contain? Network contain number of devices. So example, we have number of machines in my organization. So example, we have number of machines, system 1, system 2, I have a system 3, and I have a system 4 here, right? So example, this is system 1, system 2, I have system 4, and I have system 3. But to connect all these machines, we require one centralized device. We are taking the help of switch. So by the help of switch, we are connecting all these machines, right? Now, we want to transfer the data from one machine to other machine. So in every machine, to connect these machines, in every computer, we require NEC card, okay? But what the Microsoft is saying, the experts are saying, sir, if you want to transfer the data from one machine to other machine, we require address or not here? We require location information, we require address, then we can transfer. So then Microsoft is saying you can do one thing, take the help of IP address, take the help of IP. So what is IP stands? IP stands Internet Protocol. Internet Protocol. Protocol means set of rules we can say. Now what is addressing? Address means what? Giving a location, identification to a place, to a person, to reach to the destination. Example, assume I want to go to my friend house. I'm telling to the taxi driver, sir, please drop to me on my friend house. It will drop? No. Why? Because you don't know my friend address here. So what we have to do? We have to tell to the address, then it will drop. The same thing in my network. I have number of machines, right? I want to transfer the data from one computer to other computer. So to each and every machine, we require IP address. We require IP. So by the help of IP address, we can establish, by the help of IP address, we can give the address to a computer, right? And by the help of IP address, we can establish communication also. So the experts are saying first we require physical connectivity, then to each and every machine we require IP address, right? So we have to give IP address to this machine also. We have to give this IP address. So by the help of IP address, we can establish the communication between the computers. And by the help of IP address, we are giving address to a computer. But actually, we are giving IP address to our machine, but we are assigning to our NAC card. NAC stands Network Interface Card, right? We are assigning to NAC card. But observe here, this NAC card already is having one address that is called MAC address, Media Access Control, right? And this address is given by manufacturer, and this address is called physical address. It's called what here? Physical. Not only physical means fixed. Can we change? No, we cannot change here, right? We cannot change. But by using MAC address, we cannot establish communication. But to give address to a computer, actual MAC address is the address of NEC card. It's not address of our computer. But we require address to a computer. So for that reason, we require IP address, and IP address is called a logical address. It's called what here? Logical. Logical means whenever we want, we can change, right? Whenever we want, we can modify. That is called what here? Logical address, right? So by the help of IP address, we can assign the address to a computer, we can give the location to a computer, and by the help of IP address, we can establish communication. So for that reason, to each and every machine NIC card, we require what here? IP address here, right? And today example, I'm saying IP is a logical address. Today I'm giving the IP address to my machine is 10.0.0.1. So next day, can I change the IP address 10.0.0.5? Next day, can I change the IP address 172.16.0.5? Yes, we can change. Whenever we want, we can change. So that's why IP address is a logical address. Whenever we want, we can change, okay? But remember here, to each and every network device means if you want communication between server and client, if you want communication between computers, if you want communication between your machine to laptop, if you want communication between your machine to your printer, we require IP address here. So IP address is a logical address. By using IP address, we can establish communication between the network devices, right? But here, how many types of versions we have? We have two types of versions of IP. One is called IPv4 and one is called IPv6. Now, what is the difference between IPv4 and IPv6? To understand the difference between IPv6 and IPv4, we can say IPv4 is a 32-bit address, IPv6 is what here? 128-bit address. So what is meaning of bits here first? Bit means what? 0 or 1. Now tell me, this 0 or 1 is our computer language or not here? So it's called binary language or decimal language? Is a binary language. So not only easily, can we understand this binary language? No, we can understand easily decimal language like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can understand, right? So I'm taking IPv4 here. So example, if I want to give the IP address to this machine NAC card, right? If I'm going for IPv4, so how many bits we have to use? 32. So it means 32 zeros or 32 ones or combination of zeros or ones here. So example, if I'm giving like this, I have to give 32. 1, 2. Like this we have to give, right? So not only when you're assigning the IP address to your machine like this as an administrator, easily can you understand this IP? Easily can you remember this IP? Or easily can you tell to your staff, to your users that this is your machine IP, remember it? Or your staff can remember? No, cannot remember, because this IP address is a binary address, easily we can understand, right? So that's why one organization who is working on this IP, that organization name is IANA organization. This organization is managing all this IP address concept. And IANA stands Internet Assigned Numbers Authority. Internet Assigned Numbers Authority. So this organization is managing all this IP address concept. Okay, this organization is managing IP address concept. So what this organization has done, he's given the task to his engineers to make this IP easy for us. So what the engineers has done is divided this IPv4 into 4 octets. How many octets here? 4, right? Octet means block, you can say. And each octet contains 8 bits, and each octet separated by this dot symbol here. So example, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is one octet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 1 octet, and this is 1 octet, and this is 1 octet, right? So you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many octets we have? 4 octets. And each octet contain how many bits here? 8 bits here. So if you add all these 8, 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, right? So it will become what here? 32 here, right? But you can see the first octet number still is what? Is a binary or is a decimal? Still is what here? Binary. So what the network engineer has done by using scientific value, that is 2 to the power of n, by using the scientific value is converted this binary to decimal. Is converted this binary to decimal. So once you convert this binary decimal, then your IPv4 range will start from 0 and the last address is 255. IPv4 range start from 0 to 255. But tell me, in IPv4, how many octets we have? Only 1 octet or 4 octets? 4 octets. So we have to write like this: 0 dot 0 dot 0 dot 0. And the last address is what? 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot 255. Right? This is our address. So you can say IPv4 range start from 0 to 255, we can say, or 0 dot 0 dot 0 to 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot 255. Right? Just 1 minute. Someone is asking a question here. Sir, you can see here, once you, the IPv4 is a 32-bit address between zeros and 1. This is a binary language, okay? And if I'm going for IPv4, I have to give 32 zeros or 32 ones or combination of zeros and ones here. If I assign like this IP, right, it's not easy for us, and easily we cannot remember, and our staff also cannot remember. So that's why the network engineers of INA, right, is given the task to each engineers to convert this IP to make this IP easy. So that's why the engineers has converted these 32 bits into how many octets here? 4 octets, right? It's converted to 4 octets, and each octet contain how many bits here? 8 bits, and each octet separated by this dot symbol here. So like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 1 octet, like this 1 octet, like this 1 octet, like this 1 octet. So how many octets we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. But each octet contain how many bits here? 8 bits. If you add all these 8s, it will become what here? 32. But if you observe here, this number, first octet number, is a binary number. And easily we cannot understand the binary number. Our processor, our computer will understand. But we can understand 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the network engineers has converted this binary to decimal by using this scientific value. That is a 2 to the power of n. Once you convert, then your range will start from 0 dot 0 dot 0 dot 0, and the end address of IPv4 is what? 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot 255. Is okay? So you can say IPv4 range start from 0 to 255. But tell me, in interview the person is asking, sir, you're saying IPv4 range start from 0 dot 0 dot 0 dot 0 0 to 255 dot 255 dot 255 255. Now tell me, is a big range or a small range here? This 0 to 255 range is a big range or a small range here?
Big.
Is a big range. How many addresses we have? Nearly, we have 4.3 billion addresses. How many addresses we have here? 4.3 billion address. Is a big range or not here? So to identify easy, so what the experts are, INA has done is classified, is divided this big range into 5 classes. It's divided this big range to how many classes here? 5 classes. And the classes are here: the class A, class B, class C, and class D, and class E. But especially class A, class B, class C is designed for LAN, MAN, and WAN. The class A, class B, class C is designed to establish communication in the LAN, MAN, WAN. So by using class A, class B, class C, I can establish communication in the LAN, MAN, WAN. But class D is designed for multicasting, and class E is designed for research and developments here. Okay, so class D is designed for multi. In class A, sorry, we are in real time. If you want to establish communication in the LAN, MAN, WAN, we are not using class D and we are not using class E. We are using only class A, class B, and class C to establish communication, right? So when you're working in the LAN, when you're working in the WAN, we are using only class A, class B, and class E to establish communication. Okay, in the LAN, in the MAN, in the WAN there. Yes, sir. Our computer hardware will understand, processor will understand only binary language, zeros and one RAM. That's why it's taking binary, so it's converted binary to decimal there. Yes, sir. Multicasting means what here? Is sending the request from one to group of computers. Is used for multicasting there. Okay. But in real time, we are using which classes here? Only class A, class B, and class C. But remember here, the ranges start from 0 to 255, right? But this range, right, is classified into classes. Every class is having some address of range. You can see here. Class A, the range is what? 0 to 127. In short, you can say 0 to 127, or you can say 0.0.0.0 to 127.255.255.255. If any address is coming in this range 0 to 127, you have to say that is what here? Class A. And the class B range is what? 128 to 191. And class C range is what? 192 to 23. Right? And class D range is 224 to 239. And class E range is 242 to 55 we have, right? So we have these are the ranges. If any address is coming from 0 to 127, you can say this is a class A. If any address is coming from 128 to 191, that is called class B. If any address is coming 192 to 223, that is called what here? Class C we can say. Okay, these are the addresses we have. But remember here, in the real time, we are not using class D and we are not using class E in the LAN, in the MAN. So in the LAN, in the MAN or WAN, if you want to establish communication, only we have to use class A, we have to use class B, or we have to use what here? Class C only, this one. Okay. So these are the ranges we have. But remember these ranges because whenever you go to interview, it will ask this question. Sir, this is the IP. You have to find out is a class A or class B or class C. So example, one day one person is asking the question to me, sir, to my PC, if you want to connect this PC in network, if you want to establish communication, what I need? So I'm saying first, sir, all these machines should be connected physically to each other by using switch by the help of cables. Next, what we need to each and every machine, we require what here? IP address for communication. But the person is asking the second question, sir, to the system 3, I'm giving one IP. The IP is 10.0.0.3. You have to find out is a which class address? Is a class A or class B? Is a class A. How we are giving answer? By seeing this range 0 to 127 is coming under class A. So the first, by seeing first octet or by seeing last octet here? By seeing first octet, we are giving answer is a class A. That is correct. So this first octet is called a network portion octet here. It's called what here? Network portion. So by seeing network portion octet, we can give the answer, right, is a which class? Maybe a class A or class B or class C. So we are identifying this address is a class A, class B or class C by using this first octet. Is called network portion. Now we have same thing, one is called, that is called host portion. Now what is host? Actually, technically our computers are called host here. If you open any networking book, is written host 1, host 2, host 3. So our computer is called host. Now if anyone is saying, sir, what is the address of this computer? So you have to say the last octet. What is the last octet here? 3. So your 3 is called host portion. 3 is called what here? Host portion. So it means by seeing network portion, we are giving the answer is a which class address and what is the network portion. What is the address of this machine here, right? That is called what here? Host portion. So example, to this machine, I'm giving the IP address 192.168.0.5. So now tell me, is a class A, class B or class C? Is a class C because we are seeing first octet and we are giving answer is a class C. So this is called what here? Network portion octet we can say. Okay. Now what is the address of this computer? 5. So 5 is called what here? Host portion. So example, to this machine, I'm giving the address 161.0.0.3. So now tell me, is a which class address? Is a
B.
class
B.
B because B is coming from 128 to 191 and 128 to 191. 161 is coming under B class there. So you can say is a class B by seeing network portion and host portion is what here? 3 here, right? Like this to this machine, right? Example I'm giving here 202 1.1.1. That's is a which class address?
Class C. Class C.
Class C because you can see here in class C our addresses start from 192 to 223 there, right? So you can say this is a class C address. Network portion is 202 and host is what here? 1 we can say, right? So it means by seeing network portion, we are saying is a class A, class B, or by seeing network host portion, we are saying what is the address of computer. By seeing network portion, we are saying, we are giving the answer what is class. So the Microsoft is saying in class A, we have one network portion and 3 host portions, right? And in class B, we have 2 network portion and 2 host portion we have. In class C, we have 3 network portion and 1 host portion, right? So by seeing this network portion, by seeing host portion, we can give the answer. The same way my computer also is understanding whether this computer is carrying which class address, class A, class B, or class C, by seeing network and host portion, and the computer is understanding, okay, whether the communication has start with next computer or not there. Okay, this is one. And just please give me a 1 minute break. I will come back there. Just give me a 1 minute break there. Okay. So by the help of network portion, by the help of host portion, we can give the answer. By the help of network portion, we can give the answer is the which class address. By using host portion, we can give the answer what is the address of our computer. This complete format, actually this complete format here is called octet format here. It's called what here? Octet. So by the help of this octet format, we are understanding which class we are using, what is the host portion, and we are giving the answer to our computer or to our machines, right? Is a which class address and what is the host portion. And our computer also understanding by the help of network portion, host portion, which class address we are using, whether the communication start with the next computer or not there. Okay, so this is one. But the same thing you can see here, I'm saying in IPv4, we have some ranges here, like class A, 0 to 127, class B, 128 to 191, class C, 192 to 223, right? But in these addresses, we have some addresses that is called private and that is called public. We have to understand that one. This is very important. You have to understand what is private, what is public here. Yes, in class A, 1 network portion, 3 host portions. In class A, 1 network portion and 3 host portion. Class B, 2 network portion and 2 host portions. Class C, class B, 2 network portion, 2 host portion. And class C is what? 3 network portion and 1 host portion here. Right? We have only 1 host portion here. Now see here, we have some addresses that is called private and public. What is private, what is public here? So for understand what is private, what is public. So example, in my network, I have number of machines. Like example, in this room, I have nearly 10 machines. And all these 10 machines are connected physically to each other. Now to first machine, I'm giving the IP address 10.0.1. As admin, I'm giving the IP 10.1. Next machine, I'm giving 10.2. Next machine, I'm giving 10.3. Next machine IP, I'm giving 10.4. Next machine, I'm giving 10.5. Like 10.6, 10.7, 10.8, 10.9, 10.10, right? Now as admin, I have given the I have physically connected all this machine. With my own, I have given the IP address to my machine, right? So now 10.1 machine can access 10.10 machine data? Yes. 10.10 machine can access 10.5 machine data? Yes, we can access, right? We have a connectivity and we have communication. But tell me, when I'm assigning the IP address to my machine as an administrator in my LAN computers, right? So when I'm assigning the IP address to my machines, I'm taking any permission of ISP? No. I'm taking any permission of Microsoft? No. I'm taking any permission of INA? No. So who is assigning the IP address? As an admin with my own, I'm assigning the IP address to my machine. So this IP address is called private IP address. It's called what here? Private IP address, right? So with my own, if I'm assigning the IP address to my computers, it's called what here? Private IP address. But tell me, by using this private IP address, 10.1, 10.2, can we access the next machine data? Yes, 10.3, 10.5 machine data we can access. But by using this IP address, can you access the internet? No, this is a limitation. This is what here? Limitation. So by using private IP address, we cannot access internet. We cannot access other branch resources. Now for this IP, we are paying any charges to ISP? No, we are not paying any charges to ISP, free of cost. We are using this IP addresses or not here. So this is called private IP address. It's called what here? Private IP address. But here, by using private IP, we can access our LAN resources, but we cannot connect to the WAN. We cannot access the internet. We cannot access Yahoo. We cannot access Gmail. We cannot access, right? This is called private. So what the experts are saying, we can use any, actual practically, I can use any address of class A, I can use any address of class B, I can use any address of class C to assign the IP address. But we have to follow the rules, we have to follow the protocols. Now what protocol is saying? The protocol is saying in IP, in class A, all the address is not private. In class B, all the address is not private. In class C, all the address is not private. We have some specific ranges that is called private. Now see here, in class A, the private address range is what here? 0 dot. The class A private address is what here? 10.0.0. This complete range is called class A private address range. And class B 172.16.0.0 to 172.31.255.255. This is called private address range of class B. And class C private address range is what? 192.168.0.0 to 192.168.255.255. This is called class C private address range. This is called class B, and this is class A. But apart from these addresses, other addresses are called public address. If I'm saying 9.0.0.1, it's called private or public? It's called public. If I'm saying 193, it's called public. If I'm saying 173, it's called what here? Public here. So apart from these three ranges, it's called other address is called public. So you can see if you have a small network, the companies will go for class C 192.168. So if I'm giving the address 192.168.0.1, so it's called private address. If any address is coming in this range, it's called private. If you have medium network, go for class B 172.16.0.0 to 172.31.255.255. It's called private address of class B. If you have a large network, big network, you can go for class A address you can go, okay? So you can see in class C, how many computers we can connect here? 255. In class B, how many computers? 255 into 255. In class A, how many addresses we can connect? 255 into 255 into 255. This many addresses we can connect here, okay? So these three ranges are called what here? Private address. But apart from these three ranges, other is called what here? Public IP address. Now what is public IP address here? The Microsoft is saying the public IP address are assigned by ISP here. Now see here, this is my, we'll take the one example. Assume this is my home PC. This is my home computer. I'm a user. I want internet line. So from whom I have to get the internet line? To whom I have to contact to get internet line? I have to contact to internet service provider, right? So example, I have to tell to the internet service, please, in my home I want internet line. So ISP will give the internet line or not here? Yes, ISP will give the internet line here, okay? So ISP will give the internet line, but when ISP is giving internet line, I have to assign the IP address to my machine, or ISP will give the IP address? ISP will give the IP address to my machine. I have no need to assign. So whenever the ISP is giving the IP address to my machine, that IP address is called public IP address. It's called what here? Public IP address, right? So ISP is giving the IP address to my machine. This is called public IP. But tell me, this internet line, this public IP is a free of cost? Is a free of cost? No, we have to pay the charges for this. No, we have to tell to the ISP, it will give the IP address. That IP address is called what here? Public IP address. We are not assigning the IP. Who is giving IP address? ISP is giving. So this is a public IP address which is assigned by IP. Now tell me, by this public IP address, can we access internet? Can we access Yahoo? Can we access Gmail? Can we access your other branch resources, like you have one branch in US? By this IP, can we access the resources? Yes, we can transfer the data over the WAN there, right? And this IP are assigned by ISP, but ISPs are getting public IP from this organization. From which organization? INA. So INA is giving the bunch of public IP to ISP, and ISP is giving the IP address to end users, and we are the end user. And these IPs are chargeable. It's not a free of cost, this one, okay? So this is a public. So apart from these three ranges, other address is called what here? Private IP address. So if any address is coming in this range, 10.0.0 is called private. If any address is coming 172.16 is called private. If any address is coming 192.168 is called what here? Private address range here, right? But tell me, we are the administrator, we are working in LAN. We are working in LAN. So not only within the LAN, if you have number of machines, if within the LAN, if you have number of machines which is connected to your network, so not only which address we require private address or we require public address? We require private address, because we are not wasting the internet line. We no need to pay the money. By using this private IP address, can we establish the communication or not here? Yes. But whenever you are assigning the IP address, we have to follow the rules. We have to follow the rules here. Now what rules we have to follow? We'll check it out. So the experts are saying whenever you're assigning the IP address, you have to follow the rules. Now what is the rules we have to follow to assign the IP? In D class, no private. In E class, there is no private. That's why I say D class and E class, we are not using in the LAN, in the MAN, in the WAN to establish communication. So forget about D and E. We have to check only A, B, and C class. Okay. Now see here. Isn't it right now we have a small, if we have a network, example, I have two machines here. Now first we have to connect two machines to each other. Now to this machine NIC card we need IP address, and to this machine NIC card we need one IP address for communication, right? Now this is my system 1, this is my system 2, right? Now what rules we have to follow to establish the communication? So the microservice is saying, whenever you're assigning the IP address, in the LAN computers, you want direct communication. So for direct communication, always your network portion should be same and host portion should be unique. So example, first of all, within the LAN, if you want to establish communication, we require which IP address here? Private IP address. Okay, so I'm taking class A 10 dot. So the rule is what? First one I'm going here. I'm giving the 10.0.0.1. Not only which class address I'm using? Class A. What is network portion? 10. What is host portion here? 1. That is good. Okay. Now I want to give the IP address to my next computer. I want direct communication also. So not on me. I have to start the IP address from 10 dot. That is good. So network portion should be same. 10.0.0. Host portion should be 2, unique, maybe 2 or different, right? So you can see network portion is same and host portion is what? Unique. So you can say direct communication is possible here. Okay, this like this, so on. 10.3, 10.4, 10.4 we have to assign. But example, one day I went to the interview, the person is saying, sir, in second scenario, the first machine is having IP 10.0.1. This is a class A 10 dot network and host portion is what here? 1. But next machine, example, I'm using this class IP. I'm using 192.168.0.3. So now what is the host portion? 3. And what is the first machine host portion? 1. Both are different. That is good. But first machine IP is what? Class A 10 dot. And second machine IP is what? Class C 192. Class C what here? 192. So now tell me here, direct communication is possible or not? No. Here direct communication is not possible. This is 1. Okay. Because network portion is not matching. Okay, fine. But example, next day, what I am doing, I am giving the second machine IP address. Example, in next example, I am giving the IP address to my next machine is what? 15.0.0.5. So host portion is what here? 5. In first machine, host portion is 1. Now in first machine, network portion is class A 10 dot network. In second machine, class A 15 dot. So now tell me here, direct communication is possible or not?
No.
Why?
Different network portion.
Because here the rule is what? Network portion should be matched, not classes. Both the side are using class A, class A. First machine class A 10 dot, second machine class A 15 dot. But here what we require? Network portion should be same. So here also direct communication is not possible. Okay, I know we have to follow the first rule. Network portion should be same and host portion should be unique, then direct communication is possible. But in interview the person is saying, I have 2 machines, sir. In first machine I'm using class A 10.0.1, second machine I'm using class A 15.0.5. So here direct communication is not possible, but still I want communication. Direct communication is not possible, but still we want communication. Then what we have to do? Then we have to take the help of a router, right? So by the help of router, if you have 2 different classes or 2 different network portion, still if you want communication, then we have to take the help of router. But remember here, in the LAN, when the word is coming LAN, in the LAN we are using directly the machines by the help of switch and directly we are connecting, so we have to follow this rule. Network portion should be same and host portion should be unique here, right? Now we'll see now today, first class, right? Still now we have discussed what is IP address, right? What is network portion, what is host portion, what are the classes we have, what ranges we have in the classes, right? What is private, what is public, and what is a rule. So we'll see the first practical today, how to assign the IP. Assigning IP is not a big job. So many times we have done the practical in our office, in our home, assign the IP there. Yes, sir? Sir, use any router. The job of router is what? To establish connectivity and communication between 2 different networks there. You can use Wi-Fi router, you can use normal router, no problem there. Sir, our machines are going to know that, right? See, actually our machines is not having a good knowledge is a private or public, that one, right? But our machines having a good knowledge is going to know that this is a which class address, maybe a class A, maybe a class B or class C, by using network portion, by using host portion there, by using something is called subnet marks. I'm coming to that one, I will show you that one, okay? So now I'm coming to the practical, how to assign the IP address. See here, right now I have a machine. I've already created one virtual machine here. Now see here, the last class, what we have done in this machine, we installed the server operating system here. So I'm logging as administrator, our passwords here. The last class we created an account by the name of John, left side. Can you see this account here? You can log in as a John also, and you can type the password, you can log in. But I want to log in as the administrator. But remember here, in the network, only the administrator is having right to assign the IP, remove the IP, change the IP. Users are not having right. So I'm logging as the administrator. Password is zoom_123, enter. Now just 1 minute, I have one more machine, I will on that computer also. I have this computer. So now, my machine is on here. I logged as a administrator, right? Now first I want to know in this machine how many NAC cards are there, right? So if I right click on computer icon, if I go to the properties, I can check my operating system details and my machine details here. So you can see it is showing my machine details here. I have 2016 operating system. Yesterday we installed 2016 data center edition here. This machine name is what here? System 1. And right, we have this is a configuration. Now I want to know the NAC card. So if you want to know the NAC card of this machine, because we are assigning the IP to NAC card. So right click on this network icon, click on properties. But remember here, method procedure is same in every operating system of Microsoft when you're assigning the IP. So right click on network icon, go to the properties. And you can see we have one option here, left side, change adapter settings here, right? So change adapter settings means what? Adapter means NAC cards. Technically your NAC card is called what? Adapter. So click on change adapter settings, and you can see in your machine, right now I have only one NAC card, that is default one. I want to know what is the IP. So right click on this NAC card, go to the properties. It's called here. Right now the name is what the Microsoft has given here, Ethernet. But earlier in previous operating system, this name is called local area connection. But now name has changed what here? Ethernet. And you can see if I go to the properties, I have two versions, IPv4 also and IPv6. But today we are going for IPv4. Select the IPv4 Internet Protocol version 4. Click on properties. Once I go to the properties here, one new page is opened. And in this page, there is a no IP address. If you want to assign the IP address, we have to use this option. Which option? Use the following IP. If I'm using this use the following IP, so it's called assigning the IP address manually. And this IP technically is called static IP. It's called what here? Static IP. Static means manual IP address, okay? So today we require IP address, but you can see there are so many addresses. We have IP address, subnet marks, default gateway, prefer and alternate. But today we require two things, IP address and subnet marks. So here I'm giving the IP address, I'm deciding class A 10.network. So to this machine, I'm giving IP address 10.0.0.101. Okay, but my computers will understand this address is a class A, class B, or class C, what is the network portion, by the help of subnet marks. But how to calculate the subnet marks here? So calculating subnet marks is so easy here. So calculating the subnet marks is so easy here. You can see here, in class A, how many network portion we have? 1. So you can see the subnet marks is 255.0.0.0. And class B is what here? 2 network portion, 2 host network portion, so 255.255.0.0. Class C is what? 3 network portion, so we have to write 255.255.255.0. Or in some places is written like this, like in some places is written like sir, I have a class A 10.0.0/8. Now what is this /8? You can see this octet number. How many octet bits are there? 8 bits, right? We have 8 bits here. So this 8 bit is called what here? 255 here, right? If you add. So these are default subnet marks here, you can say. But if you have very difficulty to writing, if you have difficulty to understanding, so do one thing, handle this job to your operating system. Handle job to your computer. So your computer is having good knowledge. This is a which class address and what is the network portion, what is a host portion, what is the subnet mark. So see here, I'm not assigning the subnet marks because this is a class A. Class A subnet marks is what? 255.255.0.0. but I'm not giving manually. If I click in this tab, if I click tab or if I click on this subnet marks, my computer operating system is having a good knowledge is a which class address, A, B or C, and what is the correct subnet marks here. You can see here. Once I click, it is taken automatically or not here. That is 255.0.0.0, right? Now today there is no requirement of default gateway address, there is no requirement of preferred DNS address, there is no requirement of alternate. When the time is coming for this prefer alternate, right, click OK and click on close. And if you want to see the address, right click, go to the status and go to the details, and you can see the IP of your machine is 10.0.0.101. So now go to the next machine. So I'm going to my next machine. Or if you want to know through command prompt, sir, what is the purpose of subnet marks? Sir, subnet marks will provide the information to your machines, right? Is a which class address. See here, by seeing the address 10.0.0.1, we can say is a class A. By seeing address 192.168.0.1, we can say is a class C. But how our computers will understand is a class A or class B or class C? By the help of subnet marks only, this one, right? This one. And by using subnet marks, when you go to the CCNP class, CCNA class, you're going to learn more about this one. By using subnet marks, we can divide the network. We can subnetting. We have something is called subnetting. By using subnetting, we can separate the addresses, some addresses for this branch, for some addresses for this batch, for some sub addresses for this department. Like this we can do it. Okay. Now we are going to the second machine now to assign the IP. But if you want to know the IP address through command here, so you can see here, if I go to the command prompt, if I type cmd, if I type here IP config, this is a command to check the IP config. If I press enter, you can see my IP address of my machine is what here, 10.0.0.101. Okay. Now I'm going to my next machine to assign the IP address. So I'm going to my system 2, next machine, and you can see in the second PC. You can keep. How can? In physical machine? Sir, by default on your motherboard you have one NAC card. That is inbuilt. If you want to add, we have to add the cards, NAC cards, cards we have, card system. So we have to remove that one if you want to remove that. If you have already. What, sir? Sir, you have physical NAC card or logical NAC card? You can create, if you have VMware, by using VMware, you can create the logical NAC cards also there. Okay. So right now you can see this is my second machine. I want to log in as an administrator here. And the password I'm using same here, zoom_123 on second machine. But you have to remember one thing, when you're assigning the IP address, you have to follow the rule. Network portion should be same and host portion should be unique here, right? So you can see it right now on this machine. If I right click on my PC or this PC or computer, if I go to properties check, this machine is having which operating system and this machine's name is what. So this machine is having a Windows 10 operating system, right? Professional one. You can see edition and you can see this name is what? Client one. Now I need IP address. So right click on network icon. Same method, same procedure. Go to the properties. Click on change adapter setting option. And you can see I have one NAC card, right? Bluetooth also is there, but I'm not using here. So right click on this physical NAC card, go to the properties on your Ethernet and select IPv4 to assign the IP. Select IPv4, click on properties and give the IP address. So select the user following IP and give the IP. That is IP is 10.0.0.102 I'm giving, okay? And once you click in subnet marks, it will take automatically is a class A 255.0.0.0. Click OK and click on close. But after your IP addresses assigning is done, you have to do one thing. You have to come back to network and sharing center and you have to disable the firewall. disable the firewall, right? So how to disable the firewall? In this page, network and sharing center, you can see the last one here in the down, Windows firewall is there. You have to go to Windows firewall, and you have to go to Windows, turn Windows, right? Go to Windows firewall, and by default is on like this. We have to turn off and turn off, right? So one of my students is asking the question, because in our mind also we have this question, sir, why we have to turn off firewall? Because whenever the word is coming firewall, we'll say we require security, we have security. We have a security. So now tell me, within the LAN computers, within the LAN, why we are connecting all the machine in the LAN? To transfer the data from one machine to other machine. So right now, if I not disable the firewall, so my machine can access other machine data, but other machine cannot access my machine data there. So not only within the LAN, you want firewall service? No, we don't want. But when we require firewall service, when you connecting your LAN to WAN, when you connecting LAN network to WAN network, that time we have routers, we have firewalls routers. In these firewall routers, we have to configure what here? Firewall service. So we want security between LAN to WAN, but we don't want security, we don't want a security within the LAN. We want within the LAN. For security reason, we have to give the name and password, but within the LAN, we want to transfer the data. So for that reason, in every machine in the LAN, we have to disable the firewall. In case if I'm not disabling firewall, so my machine can access other machine data, but other computers cannot access my machine data. We cannot go for sharing. So for that reason, in the LAN, in all machine, we are disabling the firewall here. So click OK, right? Close this one. And now here, if you want to know the command, through command, you can check IP. So the IP of this machine, if I type IP config, IP is 10.0.0.102. But I want to know whether the connectivity is there with system 1 or not. IPs is correct or not. So how to know? By using ping command. If you type ping space, your other machine IP. What is my other machine IP? 10.0.101. If I press enter, I'm getting reply. Yes. If you're not getting reply, means in system 1, firewall is on. You have to go there, you have to disable this one, right? So till now, we have seen what is IP address, right? And how to assign the IP address to our computer, what is the use of IP address, and what are the ranges we have, and what is a private IP, and what is a public IP. So not only within the LAN, which IP you require, private IP or public IP? Private IP address. You can go for class 18 dot, you can go for class B 172.16 dot, we can go for class C 192.168. Apart from this range, it's called what? Other addresses, other IP addresses. It's called what here? Public IP, which we have to purchase from ISP. Okay. So this thing, this first concept we have completed today class. Now come to the next topic that is very important for us today, right? Now come to the next topic that is called topologies here. So we'll start the next topic that is called what here? Topologies. You have any idea what is topology? If anyone is asking to you, what is topology? Yeah, actually in pure language, in technical language, we can say topology means structure of network or design of network or architecture of your network, right? You can say topology, structure of network, design of network or architecture of network is called what? Topology. In topology, we have two types of topologies. One is called physical topology, and the second one we have logical topology, right? Now first tell me, what is physical, what is logical? If I'm saying physical and logical, what is the meaning of physical, what is the meaning of logical, right? Physical means which we can see, is called physical. Logical means just we can assume, we can think, that is called what here? Logical here, right? Physical means which we can see, logical means just we can assume, that is one, okay? Now, in physical, we have so many types of topologies like star, like bus, we have mesh, we have tree, etc. There are so many are there, okay? Now we'll start with the bus topology. What is meaning of bus topology? So bus topology means what here? Example, in bus topology, we have number of computers in my organization, right? And all these machines are connected with single cable. I have 4 machines, system 1, system 2, system 3, system 4. If I'm saying this is a bus topology, all these machines are connected with single cable. Backside, there is a no switch, there is a no hub. And backside, there is a no NEC cards. All these machines are connected with single cable, and backside we are using one connector that is called T-shaped connector is there. That is called what here? T-shaped type connector is there. By using this connector we are connecting, right? This is called bus. So in bus topology, all the machines are connected serially to each other by using a single cable. But example, by sitting on system 1, can you access system 2, system 3, system 4 data? Yes or no? We can access, okay? But example, after some time, the cable is break between system 2 and system 3. Cable is break between system 2 and system 3, right? Right now, we are not, as admin, we are not having good knowledge. But example, by sitting on system 1, one user want to access system 3, system 4 or other machine data. Can we access? No, right? So the user is complaining to admin. Assume you are the admin. I'm complaining, sir, I'm unable to, I'm sitting on system 1, I'm unable to access system 3, system 4 or other machine data. There is no communication. So please solve this problem. So what we have to do to troubleshoot this problem? First, we have to check where the connectivity is break or not here, where the cable is break. So not only easily, can you understand where the cable is break here? No. We have to go to machines, we have to check. So at the end, you're finding the cable is break between system 2 and system 3. So we have to fix this problem. How to fix this problem? By changing cable, right? This is a troubleshooting, okay? My question is what next? I have to change a piece of cable between system 2 and system 3, or we have to change the whole lengthy cable there? We have to change the piece of cable or whole lengthy cable? Piece of cable. So what you are saying, sir, go to system 2, cut the wire here, go to system 3, cut the wire, take the new piece of cable and joint it, tape it and establish the communication. Can we do this one? No, sir, because this is not an electric cable. This is not our electric cable. In electric cable, we can joint it, tape it, we can do it. This is our data cable. This is our LAN cable there, right? So we cannot joint, we cannot tape it. So what we have to do, we have to change the whole lengthy cable. So now tell me, troubleshooting is easy first of all? No, right? We have to go to number of machines to check where is the problem. Next is what? To troubleshoot the problem, fixing problem is not easy. We have to change the whole lengthy cable. It's expensive for us. So this is called what here? Bus topology, right? Now come to the star topology. What is star topology? In star topology, we have number of computers here. Example, we have 4 computers here or more than 4. Now all these machines are connected by the help of single centralized device, that is a switch. All these machines are connected by the help of this switch. So this technology or this structure, right, is called star topology here. It's called what here? Star, right? So I'm saying this is a star. In star topology, all the machines are connected with one centralized device, maybe hub or maybe a switch. So now, by sitting on system 1, can we access system 2? Can we access system 4? Can we access system 3 data? Yes or no? We can access. So this is called star. And most of the company in the world are using star topology because here troubleshooting is easy, recognizing the problem is easy, and fixing problem is very less expensive here. So you can see here. Right now, all the machines are connected with switch. The system 1 can access system 3 data, system 2 data, and system 4. But after some time, assume it, the cable is break between system 4 and switch. Cable is break between system 4 and switch. But tell me, by sitting on system 1, still the user can access system 3, system 2 data? Yes, but not system 4. So I'm telling to admin, sir, there is no communication between system 4. I have communication with other machines connected, but no communication between system 4 there. So what as admin I will do, I will go to system 4, I will check the problem. So I am finding the cable is break between system 4. So now tell me, I have to change the piece of cable between system 4 or switch, or I have to change all the machines cables. We have to change the piece of cable. So go to the system 4 and change the piece of cable, right? Only piece of cable between system 4 and switch, right? So now tell me, again the system 4 is up in the network or not here? Can we establish the communication with system 4? Yes. Can we transfer the data? Yes. Now tell me, recognize the problem is very easy, right? And troubleshooting is what? Easy. Just we have to change the piece of cable between system 4 and switch there. So that is called what here? Star topology. So that's why in the world, 98% of the companies are using star topology. But we have other topology also like bus, mesh, tree. According to your requirements, we have to use it, this one, right? So this one. But you can see here, star topology is called physical topology or not here. We can check the cable, how the cables are crossing from one machine to other machine. We can check. This is called what? Physical topology. Now come to the logical. Now what is logical we have? Mesh means what? We have, mesh means what? We have star topology. We have bus topology. We have tree topology. All are connected to each other. It's called what here? Mesh. It's called what here? Mesh. Mesh means mix up all. In one department I'm using star, in one department I'm using bus, in one department I'm using tree topology. Well, all are connected to each other. Bus also is connected to star, and bus and star is connected to tree topology. That is called what here? Mesh. Okay. Now, come to the next topology. In topology, that is called logical. In logical topology, we have two things here. One is called work group model. That also is called peer-to-peer model here. Peer-to-peer means one-to-one, you can say. And the second one we have domain model. And the domain model is called client and server model here. Domain model is called what here? Client and server model. Okay. So we'll see now, right, what is work group model and what is a domain model. So today this class is very important. If you understand work group model, if you understand domain model, right, easily can understand why we are going for this 2016 course, right, and why we are going for server model, why we require servers, why we require clients here, right. So if you have any problem, if you are not getting any point, if you are unable to understand, so please tell me. Once again, I will repeat for you this one. Okay, shall we start? So in logical topology, we have two models. One is called work group and one is called domain. And work group model is called peer-to-peer, one-to-one, and domain model is called client and server. Yes, sir? Physical model, sir. Physical topology, yes, sir. Every company is using physical topology. Example, in your home or in office, you have 5 machines. If you want to connect all the 5 machines, what do you require? You require switch? You require cables or not? That is called physical or logical? It's called both we require. Physical also we require, logical. If I am connecting machines, by which technology? By bus, by star. That is called what here? Physical topology. Okay? We can check the cables, how the cables are crossing from one machine to other machine. That is called physical here. Right? Sir, Wi-Fi. Sir, Wi-Fi technology, you can use Wi-Fi routers. That is called Wi-Fi technology. In Wi-Fi, there is a no bus, there is a no star topology, there is a no mesh there. By using Wi-Fi, right, we are connecting all the machines through wireless routers, wireless switches, that one you can say. That is called Wi-Fi technology, you can say, or Wi-Fi topology, we can say this one. Okay? Is not a?
Topology.
Where, sir?
So I'm just asking like.
No, it's not a. Where, sir?
Which topology is that? Wi-Fi?
Sir, Wi-Fi is follow the star topology. That
Star.
yeah, star. Because all the machines are connected to the one device. There is a router is connected. By the help of that, we can establish the communication there. But in every machine, we have to go and we have to type the username and password, Wi-Fi password you have typed, then it's going to connect that one. Okay. Now, come to the next one. That is called what here? Logical topology. In logical, we have workgroup model and domain model. Now, try to understand what is the feature in workgroup model, domain model, right? Then decide yourself which is the best one. But what is the actual workgroup model, domain model? In workgroup model and domain model, we have a logical collection of computers. We have a logical collection of computers. In workgroup model also, we have number of computers. In domain model also, we have a number of computers. Allow the user to log into that computer to share the resources, to share the data, files, internet you can access, okay? But apart from this one, in workgroup model and domain model, we have so many features and so many drawbacks that you have to check here, right? So I'm starting with workgroup model. I'm saying in my organization, we have number of machines. How many machines here? 4 machines. And all the machines are connected physically to each other, right? And I'm saying this model, right now in my organization, I have a workgroup model. I have a workgroup model. So workgroup model means in my network, there is a no server, there is a no client actually. There is a no server, there is a no client. In workgroup model, I can use any operating system in any machine. I can use any operating system, any machine. Like last class, I said that we have 2 types of operating system. One is client and one is a server. You can use any operating system. So basically in workgroup model, the companies will go for the cheaper operating system. Which one is a cheaper one, client or server? client OS. And my boss is saying, sir, in all machines, we want Windows 8 operating system. Windows 8. Can we go for Windows 8 in all machines? Yes. But my boss is saying, say, in some machine, I want Windows 8, some machine Windows 7, and I want in some machine XP. Can we go like this? Yes. So not tell me, we have any server here? No. All the machines are having operating system, but different. Okay. Now tell me in system 2, I'm using which operating system here? XP. Is a client operating system or is a server operating system? Is a client. But I have a question. One day I went to the interview, the person is saying, sir, in system 2, I'm using XP operating system. So not tell me is a which operating system. I'm saying this is a client, sir. But tell me once you install client operating system in this machine, so automatically this machine will act as a client or not? Try to understand my question. Once install system in system 2 machine, client operating system, XP, maybe Windows 7, maybe Windows 8, maybe Windows 10. So once install the client OS in this machine. So automatically this machine will act as a client or not? What you are saying? Yes. Okay. Hold on this one. Okay. Now come to the system 1. The last class what we have done in system 1, we installed this operating system. Which operating system? Windows 2016 Server OS. My question is what? Once installed Server OS in system 1, so automatically this machine will act as a server or not? Yes or no? Because in interview, compulsory it will ask this question to you. Personally, once installed Server OS in this machine 2016 or 2012 or 2008 in system 1, so automatically this machine will act as a server or not?
No.
What you will say? We have to do some configuration. The same way, once installed XP operating system, once installed Windows 8, automatically this machine will not act as a client. We have to do some configuration, then only this machine will act as a client here, right? So automatically it will not act as a client. We have to do some configuration. Then only this machine will act as a client. If you go to Windows 2016, if you do some configuration, it will act as a client. I will show you here. Like you can see in this machine, I'm using, if you right click on computer icon, if I go to properties, you can see here, I'm using which operating system here? Windows 10. But once install OS, what is showing here? Workgroup. So it means this is called workgroup. You can see in system 1, if I go to system 1, in system 1, I'm using operating system 2000 server 16, but what is showing here? Workgroup. So it means once install server OS or once install client OS, basically these machines are what here? Workgroup. There is a no server, there is a no client. So it means in workgroup model, there is a no server, there is a no client. In any machine, I can use any operating system. So basically what the companies will do, it will use the cheapest operating system, which is the easy for to buy, right? Example XP, I will use XP operating system. Or in some machine Windows 7, some machine Windows 8, some machine XP. In some machine server OS also, right? But there is a no server, there is a no client. So this is called what here? Workgroup model. So in workgroup model, I can use different operating system in different machine, but there is no server, there is no client. But here, every machine is acting as a server and client. Every machine is thinking, I am a server, I am a client. System 2 also saying, I am server, I am client. System 3 is saying, I am server, I am client there, right? Now what is a good thing here? In workgroup model, we no need to worry about server configuration, we no need to worry about client configuration. Just we have to install the operating system, and after installation is done, create the user accounts and allow the user to log in. So last day, what we have done, as admin, I went to the 2016 machine, operating system machine. I created one account by the name of John. So not only once I create the account John in system 1 2016, so this John account and password is going to store in which computer hard disk? Is going to store in all the computer hard disk or in system 1 hard disk only? System 1. So this user account is available in system 1 and this user information is available in system 1 database. Okay. Now in this machine, XP machine, if I create some user accounts, example for testing purpose, I'm creating user 1. So not only this user 1 account is available in XP machine hard disk, in XP machine local database, you can say, right? So like this, in system Windows 8 machine, I created one account by the name of user 3. In Windows 7 machine, I created one account user 2. So as administrator in my workgroup model, I'm going to one machine, I'm creating one account. Now tell to the user John, this is the name and password. You tell to the user 1, this is the name and password. And tell to the user 2, this is the name and password. User 3, name and password, right? But the user is asking the question, sir, which computer we have to use to start the work to log in? So as admin, can I say any machine, sir? No. So tell to the John, sir, you have to log in only to system 1 2016 machine. So when the John is going to this machine, he's typing his name and password. Now once you press enter, So not only without confirming this name and password, this machine will allow to John to log in? No. So this machine will go for authentication. This machine will go for what purpose here? Authentication. So this computer will forward the request to local database, and your local database will give authentication because account is there. Then successfully the John can log in, you can access the resources. Okay, like this. Can I log in as a user one here? Yes. The request will go to local database and this machine will give the authentication, then user one can log in. Now after login, what is my job? As a user, I will create some data. I will share the data with other users. And in my network, I have a printer. This printer is shared. I have internet line also. So can we access this printer? Can we access this internet line or not yet? So this is called workgroup model. So in workgroup model, we have a collection of computers in different machine. I'm using different operating system. There is a no server, there is a no client, right? Once I create the user account in particular machine, the user can log into that machine to access the resources there, right? But apart from that, there are so many drawbacks out there. First of all, there is a no server, there is a no client. Each and every machine are acting as server and client. And the first drawback is what? There is no centralized management on computers, right? By sitting on one computer, we cannot manage all the computers, one. Second drawback is what? There is no centralized management on user accounts here. You can see the John account is available in which machine? 2016, in first machine. So always John has to log into which machine here? System 1 2016. But one day, the John is saying, sir, from daily I'm using this machine, I'm facing very bored, sir, right? I'm feeling very bored. So what I want, I don't want to log into this machine. I want to log into system 2 machine. So one day, without permission of admin, the John is going to this machine, is typing his name and password. Now the request will go to what here? System 2, XP machine database. Now tell me, XP machine local database is having account of John? No. So now tell me, this time your authentication is granted or failed? Failed. John cannot log in, right? But the John is complaining to admin, assuming you are my admin, right? So I'm telling to admin, sir, please allow to me to log in XP machine. But remember here, user itself cannot create the user accounts. Who is having the right to create the accounts? Only admin. So the John is saying, sir, daily I'm sitting on system X1, that is 2016 machine, but I want to use XP machine. I want to sit on XP machine. So some days I want to log into Windows 2016 machine, some days I want to log into XP machine. So please allow to me. So then as admin, what we have to do, go to this machine, log in as a what here? Administrator, and create one account for John with the same name and same password. So now tell me, next day, the John user can log into XP machine or not here? Yes, we can log in because we have given the account is there, then John can log in, okay? But next day the John is coming saying, sir, please allow to me log in Windows 8 machine also. Allow to me log in Windows 7 machine also. Because daily I don't want to sit on one machine. I want to change the computers. Then what we have to do? As admin, go to this machine, create one account in system 4, one account for John. Go to Windows 7, go to system 3, create one account for John. So not tell me, now John is having account in all 4 machines or not here? And the John can log into all 4 machines. There is no restriction. But what about the user 1? Always user 1 has to use which machine here? System 2 XP. But one day the user 1 is coming saying, sir, please allow to me also to log into all 4 machines. Then what we have to do? As admin, go to every machine, create one account, user 1 with the same name, same password. User 1 here, create one account, user 1. But what about the user 3 and user 2? Can you log into all 4 machines? No. So the user 2 and user 3 also is coming, is requesting, sir, please allow to us also to log in all 4 machines. So in this machine, we have to create user 3 account. Here we have to create user 2 account. Here we have to create 2 more accounts. One is user 3 and one is a user 2. And in this machine, we have to create user 2 and user 3 account. Sir?
Previously, you said that server 2016 and 2016 and times is also required some configuration.
I will tell you that one. Okay?
Is it required to work?
No, there is no requirement. Just install the operating system and create the user accounts. And tell to the user this is your name and password and log into this machine there. Right? So now you can see here. In every machine, we have 4 accounts or not here. So how many total computers are there? 4. And how many employees are there? 4. So as admin, how many accounts I have to create? In one machine, how many accounts? 4 accounts. Total, how many accounts you have to create? 16 accounts, 16 user accounts. So not tell me, in one machine, 4 accounts. 4 machine means what? 16. Not tell me, creating 16 user accounts is very hard job for administrator or easy job for administrator? Is? How much time you need? You're saying hard. How much time you need? One user account. Last class, we created one account, John. How much time is taken? Less than 1 minute. Less than 1 minute. So not tell me, how many minutes you require? 16 minutes. Daily job hours is what? 8 hours. You're working 8 hours. You're not having 16 minutes to create the accounts? You have or not? Yes. Job is what? Easy. Because your network is easy. But estimate after some time, your network has expanded to 100 machines and 100 employees. And the John is coming, is saying, sir, please allow to me to log in all 100 machines, sir. And right now, this is a work group model. And you're saying, I'm a very, this network is small or big. I was a hard worker administrator, I will manage. So not only the John is requesting, sir, daily I don't want to use one machine. Daily I want to change the computer. So please allow to me to log into all 100 machines. So as admin, what we have to do now? Go to one machine, create account John with the same name, same password, same name, same password. But next day, all 100 employees are coming, is requesting to you, sir, please allow to us to log into all 100 machines. And this is your work group model. Now tell me what we have to do. In one machine, how many accounts? 100 accounts. So in 100 machine, how many accounts now? 10,000. So what is your daily job as admin? Come to office, take one machine, start the creating account. Not only within one day, can you complete the accounts? No. We require at least 1 week to complete the accounts. Okay? Okay. You're saying I was very hard work administrator, sir. I will take some time, I will create it. Not only in one machine, 100 accounts with the same name, same password. Okay? Now, the John can log into any machine? Yes. But the John is very smart guy. Now check the next drawback. The John is saying, sir, I forget my password, sir. John is saying what? I forget the password. So as admin, can we change the password of the user? Yes. But in which machine we have to change? So right now John is sitting on system 1. So as admin, go to system 1 and change the password. But only in system 1 we have to change the password? In 100 machines. So one user password, how many times you have to change? 100 times 100 machine. Not tell me, are you saving your time? You're doing easy management? No. Right? So this is a drawback. Next day, your boss is coming. Your boss is saying, sir, in our network we have printer, we have internet. Both are shared. Any user can log into any machine, user can access printer and internet, no problem there. But one day your boss is saying, sir, this is a work group model, we have 100 machine. Please do one thing, don't allow the John to access printer and internet. Restrict the printer and internet to which user? John. So not only as admin, by sitting on which machine I have to restrict. Take your laptop and restrict to John. Can you do it? No, it, because there is no server, there is no client. So what we have to do in work group model, we have to check now out of 100 machine, John is sitting on which machine. So I'm finding John is sitting on system 1 machine. Go to system 1 and restrict to John, printer and internet, don't allow. So we have to apply the policy how many times? 1 time. So next day when the John is logging to this machine, can you access the data? Yes. But can you take the prints? No. Can you access the internet? No. So John is very smart guy, is very worried. Now the John is calling to you, you are the admin. John is saying, sir, yesterday I'm logging here, I'm accessing printer internet, but today I'm logging, I'm unable to access printer internet. So please tell me where is the problem. So you are the admin, you have to explain to John. Sir, there is no problem, but management has given the instruction to me. I restricted to you printer internet. So from today onwards, you can log in, you can access your data, but you cannot access printer and internet. So now, after listening this one, John will not ask a reverse question to you because the management has given the instruction to you, you are applying that instruction on your user there, right? So John will say, okay, sir, no problem, I will manage. But John is very smart guy. John is saying, next day I will not sit on this machine because this machine is not allowing to me to access printer and internet. So next day the John is logging to system 2 or system 4. Can we log in as a John? Yes, because our account is there, we can log in. Now tell me, by sitting on this machine, can we access printer internet? Yes, we can access. So not only restriction in all 100 machine or in one machine only. In one machine. But this thing your boss is observing next day. Your boss again is calling to you and your boss is saying, sir, please do one thing, restrict the John to access printer and internet permanently by sitting on any machine. Not tell me, I have to apply policy or not here. I have to restrict printer internet. Not tell me to restrict the printer internet. How many machines I have to visit as admin? 4? Okay, 4. If you have 100, go to 100 machine, apply the policy. What policy? Restrict the printer internet. Now how many times? One policy? 100 times. 100 policies? Maybe 10,000 or 20,000 times you have to apply, right? So not on me. The restriction, applying policy is easy here? No. So are you saving your time here? No. We have to visit to every machine to apply a single policy. So we are not saving time, we are not doing easy management, we are not doing centralized management. So what is the meaning of centralized management? By sitting on one machine, if I'm managing all the computers, all the user data, all the user network resource, that is called what here? Centralized management. Now come to the data example. This is one drawback, data. The John is sitting on this machine, daily is creating the data. And once you click save, This data is going to save in other machine hard disk or system 1 hard disk? System 1. But next day the system 1 is not working and the John is logging to system 2. Can you log into system 2? In system 2 also we have a local hard disk. Now in system 2, can you find the same data in system 1 what we created? No. So John is calling to you. John is saying, sir, from last 1 week, I'm sitting on system 1. I created some data that is very important for me. But today I'm sitting on system 2 because system 1 is not working there. So please, I log to system 2. I want same data. So now, if your system 1 hard disk is burnt damaged, now as admin, right, can we allow the John to access the data from system 2? No. So what is your answer? Answer is what? Yeah, that is correct answer. Sorry, sir, I cannot do anything. Start the work from beginning. So what the John will say? Thank you, sir, providing this type of service. No. So are you finding a drawback in data or not here? So that's why the experts are saying the work group model is suitable for a small network, right? And in work group model, there is no server, there is no client. Every machine individually is acting as a server and client here. I can use any operating system. But the drawback is what? Feature is what? We can share the resources, we can share the data. But the drawback is what? There is no centralized management on computers. There is no centralized management on user accounts. There is no centralized management on your network resources. There is no centralized management on user data. So if you have a small network, if you have medium, or if you have a large network, if you want to do easy centralized management by sitting on one machine, if you want to manage the entire network, then we have to go to the domain model. We have to go to which model here? Domain model. So in domain model, we have to make one server, and the rest of the computer we have to configure as a client share. So if you have a small network or medium or large network, so domain model, by the help of, we can do centralized management. Example, I want to make one server, 10 machine as a client. Can we configure or not here? Yes or no? Yes. Is suitable? Yes, for a small network. I want to make one server, 100 machine as a client. Can we configure? Yes. Can I configure one server, 10,000 machine as a client also? Yes, we can configure. There's no restriction. But to go domain model, right? If you want to configure domain model, what we need? We have to configure one machine as a what here? Server, and the rest of the computer you have to configure as a what here? Clients here, right? So take number of machines. So, but first machine, I'm making the system 1 is my server, right? And the configure the rest of the machine as a what here? Clients. So example, I have this many machine as a what here? Clients here, right? So example, my system 2 is client, system 3 is client, system 4 is client, and system 5. And in client machine, you can use any operating system. Here example, XP, here Windows 7, here Windows 8, right? Here Windows 10, there's no restriction here, right? But in server machine, we require server OS here. You can use any one, sir.
Home-based or something.
Not home, leave the home, leave the basic. We have to use only professional or ultimate editions. Because home, basic is not designed for business purpose. It's designed only for home purpose. We have to use only XP professional, Windows 7 professional, Windows 10 professional, Windows 8 professionals we have to use, okay? Or ultimate, that is a professional, also called ultimate, that one, okay? Not home, because in home machine we cannot make client there.
Is it possible to change the user?
Said if you have license operating system, you can change the edition, you can upgrade that one, you have feature, okay? But you have license one. So now we have this many clients, we have server here, right? Now where we have to create the user account? In client machine hard disk, because in every machine we have hard disk. We have to create the user account in client machine, or we have to create the user account in server? We have to create the user account. And who is having the right to create the accounts? Administrator. So as admin, go to the server and create the accounts. One user how many times? One time only here, right? If you have 100 clients, we no need to go to the client machine to create the account. So create the account in server. And after the account is created, tell to the user, this is your name and password, user 2, this is name and password, user 3 name. And tell to the user, log into any machine, except server, except server, log into any machine. So the user 1 first day is going to this machine, is typing his name and password. So now tell me, the request will go to client machine. But tell me, client machine hard disk is having any information of user and password? No. But this client is working for server or not here? So what the client will do, it will take your name and password from user, and it will forward the request to server. And server will check this account in database. If your database is granted, your authentication is granted, then you can log in. In your database, if you have account, you can log in, okay? But next day, the user 1 is saying, sir, I don't want to use XP machine. I want to log into Windows 10. Without permission of admin, as a user, can I log in other machine? Yes, because this is a domain model, without permission of admin. So the request will go from Windows 10 to server will give authentication, then user can log in. So this is called what here? Domain model. So in domain model, my user can log in like this. User 2 is working on this machine. User 3 is working on this machine. Next day, if the user the user can change the computer without permission of admin. And the user accounts are available in servers. The user can log into any client machine. Which data, sir?
For example, user 1 is logged into network and some data
Creating some data. I'm coming to that one. Just wait. Okay. After logging as a user, so not only, first of all, we have centralized management on computers. Yes, we have centralized management on user accounts. Yes, we have, right? Now, what about the data? Example, the user 1 is sitting on this machine, XP machine, system 2, is creating some data, is downloading some from internet. Now, once you click this save, this data, these files are going to save in which machine? Client machine hard disk of system 2 or in server hard disk? Think, observe and give the answer. This data, user 1, which is creating by sitting on system 2, it will store in system 2 hard disk or server hard disk? In client machine hard disk only. Because once I click save, I'm sitting on this machine. If I click save, it's going to save in this machine only. So the data is going to store in client machine. But next day, this client machine is not working, right? The user 1 is logging to system 5. In system 5, can you find the same data of system 2 data? No. So it means your machine is down, your hard disk is gone, your data is lost. But the user is saying, sir, please save my data in centralized place and allow to me to access from the network. Allow to me to access from the network. So then tell to the user, say don't save the data in local hard disk, in client machine hard disk. So take the user data. Take the user data and store this data in server. Take in server store the user data and share this data to allow the user to access. But when you're sharing, you have two options. You can share with everyone or you can share with specific user. Everyone means all. Anyone can access. But if I give only user 1, so only user 1 can access, other user cannot access. So I'm giving the permission only to user 1. So now, sir, how to store the data in server, I will tell you later this one. We have a class, Surinder, sir. I will come to that one. On that day class, I will show you. Okay? Yes, sir?
How will you save the data? Means admin will be taking the data.
Admin is take from the user data and store in the server and share it. Okay, how to share, I will show you that on it. Okay, now the user data is not in client hard disk, available in server. So tell to the user, log in from any machine, and from the network, access your data. So whenever the user is doing some changes here, these changes, right, these changes will update on server hard disk, but not in the client machine hard disk. This change will update on server hard disk, not in the client machine hard disk. Okay. Yes, sir. Whenever I am storing something data from client machine, from the network, this data immediately will store in server without sign outing, without shutdowning this machine, right? Once you create something, it is updating. But next day, this system to client machine is not working. Assume this machine is down. So as a user 1, can I log into system 5 client machine? Yes. Windows 10 machine? Yes. But data is not available. But from the network, still, can I access my data? Yes, we can access. You can find the same data. If I do any changes, if I create some files, immediately these files are going to update to my server hard disk. So not on me. Next day, if I'm sitting on system 3 as a user 1, can I access my data or not here? Yes. So now data is available in server. You can say data is centralized and you can have access from any machine. If one machine is down, one client machine, you can log into other client machine, you can access. So this is what here, centralized management on data. But what about your network resources? Example, we have a printer and this printer is shared and we have internet line. So the user can log into any client machine, user can access this printer internet. There's no restriction. But one day my boss is saying, please don't allow the user 1 to access the printer and internet. So as admin, I have to go to every client machine to restrict the printer internet? No need. By sitting on server, we can restrict. How many times we have to apply policy? Only one time. So go to the server, restrict the printer internet to which user? User 1, right? So next day when the user 1 is logging, the request will go to client to server to confirm the name and password. At the same time, server will say, allow the user to log in, but don't allow the user to access printer and internet here. User can log in, user can access data also, but user cannot take the prints, user cannot access the internet. But the user is worried. The user is saying, sir, this machine is not allowing to me to access the internet. So the user is saying, next day I will not sit on this machine. I will sit on system 4 or system 5. Can I log in as a user 1 in system 4, system 5? Yes. Can I access my data? Yes. But can I access printer internet? No, because this restriction is affecting from server. So if any restriction is affecting from server, if the user change the computer also, user cannot access, right? So not on me, in front of you, you have two models. One is called workgroup model and one is called domain model. So which is the best one? The workgroup or domain? Domain model. Why? Because domain model is suitable for small network also, medium also, and large also, right? And by sitting on domain model, in domain model, what we are creating, one server, rest of the machine clients, right? Not only one server, if you require in future, you can configure more than one server here. But right now we require initially one server, rest of the computer clients. And by sitting on server, can we manage the computers? Yes. Can we manage the user account? Yes. Can we manage the user data? Yes. Can we manage the permissions of users? Yes, we can manage. So it means by using domain model, we are doing centralized management. By sitting on one machine, we are managing all the computers, user data, user accounts, user permissions, user network resources. This is called what here? Domain model. So which is the best one? Workgroup or domain? Domain model. But to configure domain model, what we need? At least one system as a server. But the question is what? How to configure server? How to configure server? So to configure server, the microservicing, if you want to configure server here, we require first one high-end computer. Okay? We require one high-end machine. So example, this is my system 1. But to configure this machine as a server, right? So the microservicing in this machine, we require server OS. We require which OS? Server OS. So once install server OS, like 2016 operating system. But once install server OS, basically this machine is what here? Workgroup, right? Now we have to convert this machine workgroup to domain, or you can say workgroup to server. So how to convert? So the microservicing, if you want to convert this machine workgroup to server, workgroup to domain, we require this service. This service require ADDS, right? So what is ADDS? You can see here. ADDS stands here, Active Directory Domain Service. ADDS stands what here? Active Directory Domain Service, right? So first tell me, what is the use of directory? Active means always is giving answer. What is the meaning of directory? I'm saying in Hyderabad, in India, we have one telephone network company, BSNL. And the BSNL is maintaining all his customer information in their directory. Means what? All the customer names, all the customer addresses, all the customer phone numbers are available in one place or not here. That is called one directory. The same thing here, the microservicing, if you want to configure server, right? If you want to configure server, we have to install what here? Active Directory. Once you install Active Directory, so then this machine will convert to workgroup to domain. This machine will convert to workgroup to server, right? And technically, once you install Active Directory domain service, this machine is called domain controller also. This machine is called what here? Domain controller. I'm writing in shortcut, that is called DC, but DC stands what here? Domain controller. But remember here, what is the history of this Active Directory? The microservicing Active Directory service, this Active Directory service is not available in NT operating system. In NT operating system, we are using this service to make server. What service we are using? NTDS, New Technology Directory Service. But from 2000, the Microsoft has launched the Active Directory. Active Directory service is available from 2000. In 2000, in 2003 with new features, in 2008 with new feature, in 2012 with new feature, in 2016 with new features we have, right? But what features we have? 2000, that feature is more than that. That features are available in 16 here, right? Fine. So the Active Directory domain service has introduced from 2000. So if anyone is asking to you, sir, when this Active Directory service has launched, from which operating system? We have to say from 2000 server operating system, we can say. Active Directory has introduced from 2000 server OS, okay? Now, and remember here, this service is available only in server OS. This service is not available in client machine. So please don't try this practically in the client machine here. Don't say, I want to make XP machine as a server, Vista machine as server, Windows 10 as a server. You cannot make. So this Active Directory service is available only in server OS, right? But manually we have to install. Yes, sir?
Is it required separately installed?
Separately. Once install OS, automatically Active Directory service will not install. Basically, this machine is what? Workgroup. We have to install manually. How to install? I will show you that one. Now, once install Active Directory domain service, then this machine is converted to what here? Workgroup to server and domain controller. And now this network is called domain model network. It's called what here? Domain. And the Microsoft is saying domain is a logical. And the domain logical structure is triangle. The Microsoft is saying what? Domain logical structure is what here? Triangle. Now what domain contain? Server. And we have to create number of machine as a what here? Clients. All the machines are connected to my switch physically. And I can make this machine as a client. So if anyone is asking to you, sir, what is domain logical structure? So we can say domain logical structure is what here? Triangle, we can say. Okay. But how to configure domain? If you want to configure domain, we have to install what here? Active Directory service. Once install Active Directory service, this machine is called server. This machine is called what here? Domain controller here, right? And this model is called what here? Domain model. Now, what Active Directory contained? What server contained? So see here, Active Directory contain complete network information, right? Whenever I'm creating some user accounts, when I'm creating some clients, when I'm creating the subdomains, so entire network information is going to store in Active Directory. What is your question, sir? Sundar, sir? Sir, we require 2 VMs for this practical, 1 server, 1 client. Okay, if you want to go for practical, we require at least 2, 1 server, 1 client. Okay, so you can see here, I'm making system 1 as a server, but we have to install Active Directory. Once install Active Directory, this machine is called server. And what server contain? Entire network information. So whenever I'm making any machine as a client, this information will is going to store in Active Directory database. Is going to store in Active Directory database, right? If I create some user accounts, not on me, where we have to create the user accounts? I have to create the user account in server. So when I'm creating the user account U1, U2, U3, this user password is going to store in Active Directory. Actually, we are creating in server, but it's going to store in Active Directory. If I allow the user to access some data, if I restrict something, that is going to store in Active Directory. So means your entire network information will store in Active Directory database, right? This is one. So that's why you can see in the slide, the Microsoft is saying here, what is Active Directory? Once install Active Directory service, this Active Directory service is maintaining their own database. And this is contain what? Information, storing information. What information? All the users, user password, user identity, all the computers information, all the group of users, all the services and all the resources. Means Active Directory contain complete network information. And once install Active Directory service, that machine is called domain controller. That machine is called what here? Domain controller. So what is domain controller? Domain controller is a server. So if you want to make server, we have to install what? Active Directory. Now what is the purpose of domain controller? Also hosts the service that authenticates users and computers accounts when the user are logging. So see here, I created the account in server, but my user is logging to this client machines or not here. So when the user is typing the name and password, the client machine is not giving authentication. The client machine is forwarding the request to server, and server is sending the request to Active Directory. Active Directory is checking the database, and if the database is found, then Active Directory is giving authentication back to the client, then user can log in there, right? So this is one. Okay, but how the authentication is going on? You can see here what the user is doing by sitting on client machine. The user is sending the name and password to server. So if you want to send something from one machine to other machine, between these two machines we require some services or not here. So for authentication purpose, here your Active Directory is using one service. That service is called Kerberos protocol service. It's called what here? Kerberos protocol. So what is Kerberos protocol? Just wait, I will tell you what is Active Directory database. See here it is using one service that is called what here? Kerberos protocol. What is Kerberos protocol? The Microsoft is saying, whenever the user is logging to any machine, the users are getting authenticate services by using Kerberos protocol. So what the client is doing, whenever the user is logging, the client will take your name and password, and the username and password is not available in client machine hard disk. The client will take your name and password, and the client will give the name and password to Kerberos protocol, and the Kerberos protocol will forward the request to server, and the server will check this account in Active Directory. Where in Active Directory? Storage. And the Active Directory storage is called what here? Active Directory database. And Active Directory database will give the authentication back to server to client, then user can log in. So here between the server and client, for authentication purpose, one service is working, that is called Kerberos protocol. By the help of Kerberos protocol service, the user is getting authentication from server, then user is logging in the client machine. Example, when you coming to the Zoom to attend the class, the security guard is stopping and is asking what? Is asking your ID or not? The same thing the Kerberos protocol is doing. What the Kerberos protocol is doing, whenever any user is logging to confirm the name and password, the Kerberos protocol is taking the name and password from client machine, is forwarding the request to server. Server is checking the account in database. If the account is found, the server is giving back the permission to Kerberos protocol, the server is saying your account is authenticated. Kerberos protocol is giving this authentication permission to client, then user can log in. So if anyone is asking, sir, what type of protocol we are using, what type of service we are using between client and server when the user is logging, we have to say what here? Kerberos protocol. And this service is inbuilt service. We no need to install. Once you install Active Directory service, this service will activate and it will work between client and server there, right? Yes, sir? It's an encrypted format. When you're typing name and password, data will flow between client to server and server to client in encrypted format there, okay? So that's why you can see in the second slide is written, providing a user logon and authentication service using Kerberos protocol here, right? But remember here, in NT operating system, we are using this service to get authentication. That is called NTLM, New Technology LAN Manager. But from 2000, we have this service. This service here, Kerberos protocol. So it means the Kerberos protocol service also has launched and introduced from 2000 server operating system. In 2000, 2003, 2008, 2012, 2016, we are using what here? Kerberos protocol service. Is a default, by default is available. Once install Active Directory service, this protocol service will be activated. Okay. Now, second thing is what? By the help of Active Directory, what we are doing? We are centralizing, right, on resources management. Means all the network information is available in server, right? But example, whenever as an admin I am not there, example, I am going on 1, 2 weeks or 3 weeks leaves. So I have to give to some person to my management or not here. So whenever I'm giving my rights to others, that's called decentralized management. It's called what here? Decentralized. Example, I want to give the chance to user 3 to manage all this network. So I have to give my rights to user 3 or not here. That is called decentralized management. So we can do centralized management and decentralized management. But by the help of Active Directory, what we are doing? Centrally, we are organizing and managing. What we are managing? User accounts, user computers, user groups of users information, and network resources, which user should access what, okay? And enable authorized users. Authorized means what? Which user is having permission. That is called what? Authorized user. Enable authorized user easily locate the network resources. Network resource means printer, internet, data. So example, you can see here, on user 1 in this slide, I have given the user 1 to permission to log in, access the data. But on user 1, I have restricted what? Printer and internet. So the user 1 can log into any machine. User 1 can access the data, but user 1 cannot access the printer. So this is called what? Unauthorized user. It's called what here? Unauthorized. So authentication means confirming name and password. Authorization means what? Permission. Which user is having permission? Only that user can access the network resources. Which user is not having authorization? That user can log into network computers, but you cannot access the resources there. That is called, right? And the second thing, what the microservice is saying, this slide is very important. Now, what the microservice is saying, first of all, domain is a logical. Domain is a logical. Just we can assume, we can say in my network, I have servers, I have a clients, okay? But what domain contain? Domain contain group of users information, computers, and group of objects for the purpose of management and security. One. Second thing, Microsoft is saying, creating the initial domain controller in your network also create the domain. If you want to configure the domain, we require at least one domain controller, right? If you're not having domain controller, that network is called workgroup model. So you can see it. You cannot have a domain without at least one domain controller. So example, this slide. Now tell me, this is a domain model or workgroup model? This one is a workgroup model. Now, are you finding any server, any client here? No. So this is called what here? Workgroup model. But to configure domain model, how many servers we require? At least one. And the rest of the computer you have to configure as a client. So this is called what here? Domain model you have. Okay?
Can you create it to server?
Yes, sir. Good feature. Good answer. So example. Right now, my system one is a server. Is my DC. So whenever any user is logging, the request will go to DC server. Server will give authentication, then user can log in. But assume it server is a machine. Can we give 100% guarantee is going to work properly always 365 days 24/7? No. One day my system one DC is down, then what? The drawback is what? If the server is down, your entire network is down in domain model. No one can log in. But to overcome of this problem, the Microsoft is saying, do one thing, take one machine and make one more server. But that is what here? Backup here. So if your main server is down, your backup server will give authentication or not here. Then you can log in, right? So we can configure one server or we can configure more than one server.
The same features.
When the word is coming backup,
Okay.
backup means Copy. Copy means what? Everything is available there. Example, I'm taking this page copy. Now tell me, some lines will come, some lines will not come. Everything will, same thing. When you have backup, everything is available. If your primary is down, all the accounts are available in backup with the same name and same password. Then user can log in. Yes, sir?
How can you create it?
How to?
How to create that?
Sir, you have to wait. I'm starting to class. I cannot show everything now. How to create DC, how to create client. See here, we have so many classes. One day I will tell you one thing, slowly, how to configure primary server, how to configure clients, how to create user accounts, how to create backup servers. Just you have to wait there. Okay? Fine. This is one. Okay? So in every machine, we require how many servers? At least one or more than one you can configure, right? It's fine. Now, so next is what Microsoft is saying. In each and every domain, to each and every server, we require name, and that name is called what here? Domain name. And this name is possible by the help of this service. Which service here? DNS. Now try to understand. By the help of Active Directory, we are making server. But to each and every server, we require domain name or not here? Right? So to each and every server, we require domain name. And this domain name is possible by the help of this service. So it means with Active Directory, we require one more service. Which service here? DNS. And DNS stands domain naming service or domain naming system, right? So by the help of DNS service, what we are doing, we are assigning the name. But try to understand this, very important. By the help of Active Directory, I am making server. By the help of DNS service, I am assigning the name to the server. But tell me, without name, can you configure the servers? Without name, can you configure the server? Without name, can you say this is a person? Without name, can you identify a place? No. So we require name, and this name we are assigning by the help of DNS. So it means without DNS service, we cannot install Active Directory. So DNS service is integrated with Active Directory. When installing Active Directory service, automatically DNS service will install. And when I'm installing Active Directory, is asking compulsory name. If I'm not giving name to my server, I cannot go for next option, right? So the name should be like this. Example, I'm giving the name to my server is what? MS. Short name I'm giving. MS, zoom.com, yahoo.yahoo, like this. So I'm giving the name only MS. This is my company name. But I have to give the name plus extension. That is called DNS name. How? ms.com. So you can say MS is a company name, but com is what? Commercial. Com is what here? Commercial. So extension is providing what? Category of server, right? But these two names are separated by this dot. And this complete name is called what here? DNS name. Like I can give like this, ms.org. Org means what? Organization. If I give ms.in, it's called what? India server. If I give ms.us, means what here? Yes. If I give ms.local, means what? Local. Whenever the word is coming local, it's called private server. It's called what here? Private server. So whenever I'm creating a server, we have to give this name here. This complete name is called what here? Domain name there. Right? Any question? So, two things you have to understand. If you want to go for domain model, first we require what here? Domain controller, right? To configure domain controller, we require what service here? Active Directory domain service, right? Once installed Active Directory service is called domain controller, and this network is called what here? Domain network there, right? Like this. We have ms.com server, right? And to each and every server, we require name, and we require clients also, right? So now we'll see how to install the Active Directory service here, right? So today our two practicals are there. One is assigning IP address, and second is what? Installing Active Directory. But before installing Active Directory service, we have some requirements. Now, what is the requirements? So what the Microsoft is saying, if you want to configure domain controller, if you want to configure server here, right? We have some requirements. So what is requirement here? The requirements are what? The first requirement, if you want to configure, you can say server or you can say domain controller. The first requirement, we require one PC, high-end configuration machine with server operating system. And once installed server is basically is what? Workgroup. So we require workgroup machine, okay? Second, we need IP address. Whenever you're making any server, that machine should have static IP. Static means manual IP. But with IP, we require this address also. Which address? Preferred DNS address. So IP address and the preferred DNS address should be same always. So example, I'm making this machine as a server. So I'm giving the IP address to this machine is what? 10.0.0.101. okay? And this machine, preferred DNS. Preferred DNS means where the DNS service is running, that is called DNS server also, right? So preferred DNS address should be same. So remember here, now, which machine we are making server, always that machine IP address and preference address should be same, whatever the IP is giving. Because with Active Directory, which server is installing? DNS. Wherever the DNS server is installing, that machine is called DNS server also. And always that machine IP address, preference address should be same. So now you have to understand, when you're making server, that machine IP address and preference address should be same. So two things are completed, you can see here. One is operating system is completed, and one is IP address. But once install OS, once install assign IP, still this machine is what? Work group. So now we have to convert this machine work group to domain. To convert this machine work group to domain, manually we have to install Active Directory domain service. But remember here, once install OS, automatically the service will not install. Once install OS, basically this machine is work group. So we have to install manually, right? So I will show you how to install this once. So now, I'm going to my system one to configure this machine as a server here. So you can see here, first we have to log in as an administrator here. So you can see in this machine, I logged as an administrator. And right now check this machine is having which operating system. If I right click on computer icon, if I go to properties, you can see this machine is having which operating system? Windows Server 2016, okay? This machine is what? System 1. But right now this machine is what? Work group. So we require a work group machine or not here? Yeah. Next, what we need to require? IP address. So right click on network icon, go to the properties, right? And click on change adapter setting. Once you click change adapter setting here, one new page will open, right? So now assign the IP to this NAC card. Right click on NAC card, go to the properties, select the option IPv4 and assign the IP. Go to the properties, and basically once install OS, basically there is no IP. We have to assign manually. So select use of running IP and give the IP. So I'm giving the IP address to my machine 10.0.0.101. Subnet mask is 255.0.0.0, and there is no requirement of default gateway address, but we require preferred DNS address, and preferred DNS address should be same there, right? And there is no requirement of alternate also today. When we require, that day will give it, okay? Sir, we'll discuss later. What is default gateway address? Today we are not having a topic for that. What is default gateway address? What is alternate DNS address? We'll discuss later when we have a class for that, when we require. So today we require only IP address and preferred DNS address. Then click on OK and click on OK. Close this one. And this machine should be, NAC card should be connected to network there. Okay, fine. Not to internet. I'm not saying we require internet. To configure DC, there is no requirement of internet. Just this machine connected to switch network. That's very important. Okay. Now two things are completed: operating system and IP address. But observe here, still this machine is a workgroup machine or not here, right? So we have to install Active Directory service. Now in previous operating system, what we have to do, if you want to install Active Directory service in previous OS means what? 2003 and 2008. So what we have to do, we have to go to run, and we have to run this command that is called DC promo. So what here? DC promo. But in 2012 operating system, in 2016 operating system, if you want to install Active Directory service, we have to take the help of server manager console. We have to take the help of server manager. By the help of server manager console, we can add the services, we can remove the services, or we can check how many services are already installed or not. If you want to check your complete configuration of your machine, we can take the help of server manager. So from today onwards, whenever I say check the services, whether it's there or not, right? Add the services, whether it's there or not, you have to use what here? Server manager console here, right? So we'll start now how to configure server, right? So now we have to check first this machine should be workgroup. Now open the server manager. How to open the server manager console? Go to the start button. You can see here. If you go to the start button here, are you finding server manager console here? So once you click, right, the server manager window will open. The server manager window will open, right? So then what we have to do? So to add the service, what we have to do, we have to go to this add roles and features, right? And you can see in this area, actually to save the time, I have already installed ADDS service. But what we have to do right now, by default, ADDS service is not there here. So we have to go to what? Add roles and features, or you can go to manage also. You can click from here. You can go to manage. You can see we have add roles or we have remove roles, right? But I'm using here to add roles. See here. Once you click add roles and features, one new window will open, right? Now we have to click on next, and we have to click next, and we have to click. Now see here, it is giving the information you're sitting on system 1 and your IP is 10.0.1, right? So after clicking add roles and features, just we have to click 3 times next, next, next here. Okay, so click next, one more time next, one more time next. And right now we are in services, and the services are called here roles here. You can see it. Whenever this blue line is crossing, we have to wait. Just please 1 minute, I'll show you. So once again, starting from first. So I have to click on open the server manager console, click on add roles and features, click next. One more time next, one more time next, and click next here.
So, Ahmad, one question here.
Yes, sir.
So,
What's
the few there was two options, right? Role based and other one.
which one? Backside.
Yeah,
Okay.
backs. So,
Okay.
what was the other option? Role based and second one.
Second one is what's here? Sir, remote management of the server. I will
Okay.
show you just 1 minute here. You can see here. Once you go to here, you can observe here. Once I click next here, by using server manager console, the last class I said that we have two options: role based, feature based installation. So if you want to do configuration in this machine, you have to select the first one. But
Okay.
if you want to do configuration in other machine by using this server manager console, we have to use what here? Remote desktop service installation there. Okay, but I want to do configuration in this machine. So click next.
Sure.
And next is asking, said you want to do the configuration in this machine servers or in virtual hard disk. So when I'm coming to the practical, how to create the virtual machines, that day I will show you this one. Okay. So example, in this machine I have one virtual machine. And by using this machine, I want to do some configuration in virtual machine. I don't want to log into virtual machine. So then we have to select the second option there. But once I click this next here, now here it will ask the question, sir, there are so many services out there in next page. It's taking some time to read the information. Once you go to the next page, you can find so many services like Active Directory, certificate service, Active Directory domain name service, Active Directory federation service, DNS service, DHCP service, web service is asking. So which service you require, check that box and click on next, next, next. Installation will complete there, right? Just we have to check the box there. Just 1 minute is taking some time here. Actually, generally it will not take this much time here, but here it's taking some time to read the information. Once you click next, it will go next slide, that is called server roles. Roles means services. There you have to check which service you require.
Can I change the installations of ADDS again?
Work group, you have to uninstall. You have to go to manage, we have to say remove roles.
Remove ADDS.
Remove roles and uncheck the box ADDS. And follow the instructions. It's asking something there.
In case
Whether this machine is last server or not.
exactly, only someone features I have taken, sir.
Someone,
Some of the features I have to take in boxes.
which service you require, check that box.
But later,
Uh-huh.
I need someone.
Some more services. Yeah, you can check the, go to add roles and features, and which service you require, just check that box. Like later I require, no need to uninstall. I want DHCP service later on. I want web service. I want remote desktop service. I can install it. There's no problem. So in one server, we can add multiple services. There's no problem. Really is taking so much time here, but actually generally it will not take this much time to complete the configuration. Okay. So do one thing, leave today now here, we'll wind up our session here. So tomorrow I will show you, right, how to install the Active Directory service, how to make server, and tomorrow we'll discuss how to make the clients also, and tomorrow we'll see how to create the user accounts also and how to manage the users here, right? So today we are wind upping our class here, but tomorrow we have more practical from starting onwards. We start the practical, beginning onwards of the class, we'll start the practical, that one, okay? So we're going to see tomorrow how to configure server and clients, user management also. Okay, Surinder, I will take your email ID. So please do one thing, all of you, right? So give your email IDs to me. Write down your email IDs there in the chat box. So I will tell to my management if anyone has not received yesterday video, right? I will send to you.